We're here, episode 4. This is going to be of the LKB podcast. Welcome again. We have our next guest on this morning. We have Sarah Tucker, the mortgage mum, CEO and founder of the Mortgage Mum. You may recognise her because she is a face of TV these days, or has been for a few
not.
years.
Yeah.
With a few things that she's had going on in her journey, and that's what we're very much going to talk about today. So, Sarah, do you want to introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are?
Yes. Hello, I'm Sarah. I'm a mum of 3 children and live in Leigh-on-Sea, lovely Leigh-on-Sea. And I'm the founder and CEO of the Mortgage Mum, TV mortgage expert on This Morning now.
Love that.
And I'm just started working with Downing Street on, I can't quite articulate where, but the housing market and the economic
Wow, so
market.
that's going to continue.
That's going to continue.
Wow,
Yes.
I could not believe it when I saw that on your socials. I was like, oh my God. So, because I think you were doing my shred at the time.
I was.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. I said to Mark, I went, Sarah, who's on my shred, is at Downing Street today talking mortgages.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh my
Really
goodness.
crazy. So yeah.
Take us back to the very beginning. We're going to cover a few things today because obviously Sarah's a mum. She's very busy, career woman, businesswoman, as well as trying to keep on top of her fitness and health. She's now one of my members and has done one of the shreds. But let's talk about where it's kind of all come from, how it all started, especially if we go back to maybe as far as The Voice or before.
So The Voice is really where the Mortgage Mum did start. Before that, I dabbled in self-development. That's why I ended up on The Voice because, so I have to really recognise where to start the story because, as you know, you can take it right back, can't you? But The Voice was the highlight of all that self-development work that I'd done, getting myself to a better place mentally, emotionally, after going through some things after having my son, just postnatal depression, which I never ever thought I'd suffer from that. But yes, so I went onto The Voice, and that to me was like the highlight of everything. I thought that was the last chapter in my journey. Can you see this?
Well, you've got a hair, haven't you?
What is happening? Did you see that? It was just going like this. And I was thinking, stop touching it. Right. I promise you, I will record a really good podcast today. I'm going to nail it. Yes. Right. Do you want me to start again?
No, go for it. No, just carry on. It's no problem.
Yeah. So basically, The Voice was the highlight of that, but it was the start of the Mortgage Mum. So I thought that was their final chapter. I wanted to win The Voice. That to me was like, it was all leading to there.
Yeah.
But life has a funny way of having other ideas. And actually, that was just the start of everything that's come since. It's just not at all what I planned to do. So I was a broker when I went on The Voice. I was a mortgage broker. I was working from home. I was working around my kids, and I was very much trying to create balance in my life. Earn good money, promote mortgages, try and get women to understand this topic, and make it more adaptable, more relatable to people. And then I went on The Voice, and I was equally trying to be a singer and have a record deal and kind of achieve my dream. I came off The Voice, unfortunately didn't win, and I was really battered by that. But obviously I had built this personal profile a bit more, and I just know with shows like that, you've got 15 minutes of fame at best, unless it's something X Factor that is bigger, and so you can end up doing Loose Women and things like that. But The Voice is different. You generally don't hear from people on The Voice for quite as long. So I knew, you know what, you've got 15 minutes. I just had that gut feeling that said, you've got to do something with this that's going to last longer than the show. So I started the Mortgage Mum during the show, which was nuts. I had a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I would never have done it at that time. I was so busy. But the busier I am, the more I can do.
It's exactly the same as me.
Exactly.
So under pressure.
If you want me to do something, make me as busy as you can, and I can then do more. So and I was high vibe. So the higher vibe I am, the more I can do as well. So I set the Mortgage Mum up, but of course I came off the show and then I was low vibe, and I was like, just sad, just really, really sad at how it ended. But I'd already started by then. So I think it's really important message that if you start things when you're high vibe, kind of keeps you accountable when you're low vibe. And I'm really glad I did, obviously, because I had 2 choices, and my business partner at the time said, you can let a TV show ruin your life, or you can try and do something with it.
Use it as a bit of a platform.
And I was like, I'm going to let it ruin my life. No, I didn't. You know, he said, I'll give you 2 weeks to sort of grieve in this moment. And then I'm back from my holiday and we're either doing it or we're not. Yeah. And I was like, okay. When Boney came back, I thought, right, come on then, let's do it.
But there's also, when we look at The Voice, so because when you actually talk about you being on The Voice, it sounds like it was actually a bit of a sad ending for you at the time.
Yes.
But actually, you done really well.
I know.
Let's talk about how well you did on there first before we go on any further. So you went in, you did your thing on The Voice so Jennifer Hudson, was it Ollie Murs?
Yeah, Jennifer Hudson, Ollie Murs, Tom Jones, and will.i.am. I got 4 turns.
Oh my God.
And it was amazing. It was amazing. It was literally the best thing ever. Like outside of having my kids, and obviously I've had really good highlights since then. Yeah. It was the best moment of my life. Yeah. Like everything I'd been at, 16 years of auditioning for shows like this.
Right, wow.
Putting myself out there and
as a
not
singer.
Quite working out. Yeah.
Wow.
And, you know, at so many points I thought, I'm not good enough. I'm just not good enough. Like, you got to get over it. And especially when I was pregnant, I remember crying in the shower thinking, I've got to let this go now because I'm going to be a mum. Yeah. And now that's my job. And obviously, I now know being a mum was the start of my life. It wasn't the end of it. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, you get to be Sarah till you're a mum. Yeah. And then you're mum, like from then on. But I guess that's kind of what I grew up believing. I think a lot of women around
think that,
me.
And I think it's a very old school way to think. And I do think that is a general kind of society.
Definitely.
Believes that.
So, but actually, Sienna was the driving force behind me getting my qualification to become a mortgage broker, to try again. And The Voice, she was 5 by the time I went on. Yeah. And I'd done loads of, like I say, self-development work after having Joshua and realised I was never myself. All those years before, that was what was missing. I was trying to sing, but with absolutely no substance behind it. Just trying to hit the notes. Yeah. And I could hit the notes, but there was no depth. I wasn't willing to show up. I didn't know who I was. Yeah. So I couldn't put that into my singing. But by this point, I could. So when I sang my audition song, it was all about how I felt when I was in that postnatal period. Yeah. And in my blood was how I felt. I just expressed it through music, and that is music. That's when it hits people. Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, all those years of rejection, I always used to come back to my journal and write, I know I'm supposed to do this. I know I'm supposed to be on a show like this at some point. I just know it. I can't, but what if I never do it? Yeah. Like the amount of times I wrote that. But yeah, I started learning about the law of attraction, which I'm really into, showed Sienna. Me and Sienna used to role play the whole scene. I used to be like, you'll be standing there, Mummy will be singing here. I want 4 turns. And she's like, what's turns? I'm like, well, they turn if they like you. So she was with me on the whole journey. And ultimately, when I did it, it's like nothing else. If you set yourself a goal and then you achieve it and there's things outside of your control, I mean, the moment was just unreal. I just thought, I stamped my feet, I screamed like a child. Yeah, I remember it. It is such a moment. I've actually done it. Like, all these years, all these rejections, telling Sienna over and over, and I've actually done it. And I think that confidence stayed with me, that you can do things that you think are really out of your reach. Yeah. And even when you don't think it's working out, it's another step there. And if you want it bad enough, you can get it. Absolutely. And obviously at that point, I took it to the battles, and then I wanted to win the battle, and then I won the battle. So it just kept building my confidence. But if you put all of your confidence on outside influence, the damage it can be done by other people really easily. Oh, 100%. So being rejected at the next stage, even though, like you said, I did really well. Yeah, the story was, I've failed. Came to an end. I haven't done it anymore. Yeah. And it's only now I mean, my language still needs working on around that voice experience, because it was amazing, and I don't want to be a pop star now. No. You know, I want to do what I'm doing, but I've still got to work on my language and how I tell the story.
Yeah.
Because I still tell it as
like you just told
rejection.
it was literally like a real, whereas I feel like it's a massive highlight of your life.
Yeah.
So it's just the way that you need to personally deliver it, isn't it?
But it was amazing. It was genuinely one of the best things I've ever done.
And obviously they are some big names that were the judges. So let's just touch a little bit on that if we're allowed to.
Yeah.
And so Jennifer Hudson, tell us, that's who you chose. How did you know you was going to go with her?
Because she was the only woman on the panel, for one.
Yeah.
And I'm very pro women.
Yeah.
She was a mother, although weirdly wasn't that vocal about it on TV, but I didn't realise that at the time.
She's got a lot. She's had some really traumatic personal stuff, hasn't
she?
Yeah.
So I didn't realise that. So I spoke
dreadful.
a lot about her mothering throughout, but they never showed that. So that was obviously something for her. And she was a powerhouse. Like her vocals were one of my favourite vocals. So it's Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion. Jennifer Hudson's up there for me.
Definitely.
So it was a no-brainer. But she was the last to turn.
Oh, really?
So they waited so long to turn. And I'd done everything, all the vocal acrobats by then. I was like, what else can I do? But I remember thinking, look, you got 10 seconds of the song left. Just close your eyes and hope for the best and sing your heart out because you've done everything you can. And I heard the dung.
I was going to say, do you hear that?
Yeah, you do. And I could feel the crowd, like they were lifting. It just was amazing. But yeah, I was equally thinking, oh my God, this is going to be so much harder because the people before me was like red, walked off the stage. And I thought, okay, this is going to be so much harder than I thought. And yeah, last 10 seconds, closed my eyes and I could feel the crowd just like,
wow.
And then I heard dung, dung, dung. I thought, I'm through. Opened my eyes. Saw her, thought she hasn't turned, gutted about that. Equally like excited and gutted. And then you can see on my face, I just said the last line, isn't it? Like with a, okay. And then I saw, like heard the dung and saw her turn and I was like, and the things she said, I mean, I had walked to school one day and thought, what do I want her to say when she turns? I want her to say something about me and Mariah Carey sounding similar.
Yeah.
And that's what she said. So when she said that, I was
high
like,
notes, oh
my God, I can manifest anything.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? And
that's
behind
incredible.
the scenes in the battles, she used to say, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Sarah. Like, why don't you believe it? Like, your voice is up there. You just need to like elevate your confidence. And unfortunately, she just couldn't get me there in the time frame that we had.
Right.
It's taken like 10 more years. So yeah, it's just.
But she was nice.
She was lovely, lovely. Yeah, just exactly as she is on TV.
Yeah.
She was so busy at the time. Talk about busy women. I mean, she was flying to and from America, filming Respect, going to the Oscars, and I was like,
and am I right in she was the one rejected by Simon Cowell years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Yeah, see?
Look at her journey
I
now.
know. It's incredible, yeah.
It's so incredible. So you went from The Voice, you came back, your business partner, so I didn't realise you was in business partnership with someone else. So
I was.
You was. Okay. Yeah. And then you came back and then kicked it all off.
Yeah, so he said to me...
He came back from holiday, sorry.
Yeah,
kicked it off.
Yeah, he said, if you win your battle, we'll set up a company. And I didn't know what that meant at the time. I was like, okay, yeah, great. Like, I'll own a bit of a business. But at that time, I thought I would be the face of it.
Right.
He would be kind of operationally putting that through his business and just hiring as and when we needed. But I always used to have this other idea in the background that I'd pitched to him before, but he wasn't interested in it at the time. He was just like, this is too high risk. I was like, I can manage women across the country, but we're in a highly regulated industry.
Right.
And so for him, he just didn't understand how I could manage people that didn't sit in the office with us.
Right.
Whereas I was like, mums want to be at home.
Yeah.
They want to be able to pick their kids up, be at home, work from home. I can do it over Teams or Zoom. But at that time, people didn't really know what this was. And it certainly wasn't what it is now because of COVID. So I was kind of a little bit ahead of the curve there. And he was like, I'm not sure. But once I went on The Voice, he said, all right, look, if you win your battle, you're going to be on TV 3 times. We'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And so we did. Set up the company, had to get it out before the first episode aired.
Yeah.
Because otherwise The Voice had rights to it.
Oh, wow.
So anything you set up in the period, they would take a percentage of it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So we got the website out in 2 weeks before Christmas.
Wow.
My photo shoot, my original one, it looks like I live in this pristine, clean house. If you'd have seen the other side of the room, it had the Christmas tree, all the decorations, just get it out of the way, act like it's the spring. So it just shows you what you see is not always the reality.
Absolutely not.
But yeah, the company was set up. We took on our first mortgage mum in the October of the following year. So if you imagine, we set it up December 2018.
Yeah.
And then I hired my first mortgage mum October 2019.
And now how many have you got?
30.
Wow.
Roughly 30. We've gone up and down, staff retention is a real thing when you're hitting those kind of numbers. So we are at most, there's 40 altogether, I think, with support staff. But at our highest, we had 35 or 38 brokers. And then we've gone down and we're creeping back up again now.
Yeah, fantastic. That's so awesome. And tell me, so let's touch a bit on mortgages so people get a little bit of advice from you whilst we're on here. Now, I was saying to you earlier, I know absolutely nothing about mortgages and that's why you started your business, because you want women to start learning this stuff. I won't be learning about it either, really, because Mark sorts out the mortgages. But tell us, because from an outside point of view, though, which is interesting for you to maybe hear, I would say that at the moment, a lot of parents would worry about their children getting mortgages as they get older.
Yeah.
So where do you kind of see that maybe? I know it's hard to not predict, but what's your opinion on the future of kids getting mortgages?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest topics that I'm trying to really focus a lot of energy on is educating children at school.
Yeah, fab.
Not just about mortgages, about money.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm working on at the moment. I've got some lenders backing me.
Incredible.
And obviously I'm hoping the Downing Street connection might help as well.
Yeah.
But just to really teach them about building credit, first time buyers, children, if they think they're doing the right thing by not getting a credit card, or perhaps they're the other extreme where they get the credit card as soon as they can, their Instagram culture, and so they just spend. I mean, if my daughter had a credit card, my God, I think she would spend thousands
There's no concept,
of pounds a month. These people on YouTube that she watches do Sephora hauls.
I know.
And you're talking about $5,000 worth of products in a one haul. And it blows my mind. So
I know.
If we're going to teach them that, we have to teach them business and we have to teach them about money, because otherwise they've got no chance getting on the property ladder.
Yeah.
So, for parents out there, I think it's all about education and educating them in a way that they're interested in.
Yeah.
So Sienna loves hearing about how the business is behind those videos.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do you want to know why she's got all those products?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, because she's been bought them. I'm like, no, because the product company give her the product because she has so many millions of views. She gets paid per view. She probably gets 10 pence a view or whatever it is. Those product companies are seeing, millions of people are seeing that it's more than an advert.
Yeah.
And people think it's not an advert, so they're more likely to buy it. And the whole thing is extremely clever, but they're manipulating you. And she's like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's just blown my mind.
But it is true, isn't it?
It's true.
It's
because
all our kids are watching.
Well, because otherwise she wants her Christmas list. And I'm like, Santa's going to get you this. And I'm thinking, that is insane. That's more products than I've ever had, in my life. And it's not going to make you happy either. So I don't want to be a boring mum. I want to be a cool mum.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's striking the balance. And so firstly, educating children from an earlier age.
Yeah.
And actually trying to find a way to get in their heads so that they can get on the property ladder.
Yeah.
But also the mortgage market's so innovative. The things they do is incredible to help people get mortgages. And I know you say, I don't need to know, but I want everybody to feel empowered to know, because if something, the worst case scenario happened to Mark, or, I want you to feel confident that you know what's going on as well, because there's a real, that confidence can come from fitness, but it can also come from knowledge when it comes to finances and just taking control of any area of your life that's going to affect your future. So, it's trying to empower the kids, really.
Yeah.
Give them a different mindset.
Yeah, you're right. And I should be more open-minded with trying to spend time on.
You're like, I've got enough to do, Sarah. Okay, I haven't got time.
But you are right about that empowering you when you just have that general knowledge of things, just just in general, like even when it comes to, you working out and doing some exercises and knowing the form of how to do it.
Yeah.
That's empowering, right? Just to know you're doing it properly, whether you're going to be doing it from home and your kids are watching, or whether you're going to walk into a gym and start performing an exercise. It's empowering to know. So I should definitely open my mind to the mortgage situation.
It's more money, because money affects all of us.
God, yeah. And like you say, with the generation coming up and then thinking that, at the moment they just look on to these people that are flying here, there and everywhere, using these products, going to these places, getting paid to go, and they don't realise the background of it.
And how it's no different. No, I say this and I'm pot kettle black, if that's even the phrase. I'm very good at saying the wrong phrase. If I do say it, for anyone listening, I'm sorry. It's just the way I am. But I did the same thing with X Factor and Pop Idol. I believed what the TV told me.
Oh, really?
It said to me, you can be no one forever. We'll pluck you out. And if you can sing, we'll make you famous.
Yeah.
All you got to do is turn up to 10 auditions before you meet us. Then meet us. We'll put you on a stage and everything will happen for you.
Yeah.
I wasted years of not building my craft, not gigging, not writing, not doing the habits that I could have done to make myself a better singer or performer or a performing artist.
Yeah.
I put all my eggs in that basket and put all the control in that TV show. And that was TV from one night a week.
Yeah.
So imagine what hours and hours of downloading is doing to their brains and their belief system. So I can't talk because I did it. I based my whole dreams on one TV show on a Saturday night. So I get it, but the likelihood of people becoming YouTube stars is marginally better than Pop Idol and an X Factor. Like, there's millions trying, and there'll be a few that manage to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
and
not being negative.
At any time, not just once on a Saturday night. They can put as much stuff out there as they want.
It's not me being negative. I think it's great that we're going to have entrepreneurial children, but it's also about making sure they know that they have to be in control. Do you know what I mean? Of their own habits to build what they want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm still trying to figure it out.
Is it? I think we all are, to be honest. We was laughing earlier about the fact that just got to wing it. Just got to wing it.
Just got to wing it.
So you've got 3 children now as well.
I know.
Who I had the pleasure of meeting all of them last week, which was lovely. So tell us how you manage your life as a busy working mum, but also with 3 children.
I think I am. I don't think I'm built the same as everyone. I'm going to say that because my friends... I'm trying to work through this at the moment, so this is interesting to be asked this question. I try and fit a lot into a normal day.
Yeah.
And I love goal setting, and I love being busy, and I love being productive. If I'm quiet, I struggle with that. Like, I'm not built to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went on maternity leave, that was in some ways harder for me than juggling everything I'm juggling now.
Yeah.
But there'll be some women out there that won't identify with that and will be like, I just want to do that as little as possible in my day. And they move slower and they walk slower through their life. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But I move faster, I talk faster. Yeah. That's just how I'm built.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of goal setting. So I work with a journal called The Head Plan.
Right.
That helps me manage everything I want to get done in a day and prioritise.
Oh, tell me more.
So at the start of the week, in all the different areas of my life, I ask myself, what do I need to do in these areas this week to work towards my goals in the future, whether that's moving house, building a business, earning more income, being the mum I want to be. And when I write that, that's when I realise how busy my brain is. Because I think, oh my God. Like,
we are so the same.
In each category,
exactly the same.
There's like 3 or 4 things.
That's
so that means there's like 30 things in one day that I'm thinking about. So this just helps me go, okay, fine. I know I want to achieve the world.
Yeah.
I know I want to be a global megastar that's a millionaire and also has a massive house that's
and
white.
A yacht. Yeah.
Like, and also be the best mum that reads stories. Like, I know I want all these things, okay? But what are we doing this week?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's this week looking like? What can you do this week? So I do that, and then each day it's like, what's the main goal today?
Yeah.
How did it go at the end of the day? It's a commitment, but it keeps me on track.
And what is that, an app?
It's a book.
Oh, a book.
It's a lovely book. I should have brought it in. It's in my car. I take it everywhere.
Okay.
And yeah, that holds me accountable. So that keeps me organised as well,
Yeah.
because sometimes I can't do everything I want to do in a day.
Also, I don't know about you, but I've always got like a few pads on the go. Well, you might not now with your lovely new pad that you've got.
Yeah.
But I literally can have about 5 and I'll be like, oh, what one did I write that in? Oh, God,
Yeah.
shit on my desk. And yeah, it's...
My phone is my friend for that.
Yeah.
Notes app has everything in it.
Yeah.
Like dreams, goals, aspirations, to-do lists. Must remembers my weight that morning. Like what calories like that I need to look up later.
Yeah.
Like
it is
it
hard.
is hard. It's definitely hard. And there are moments of overwhelm, and there are moments of like real achievement where you go, okay, yeah, like I've achieved a lot.
I mean, having a good day is just the best as a mum, as we all know, isn't it? When you've got an early wash on and you've managed to get your walk in, you've got your steps in, you're feeling good, you've eaten well. I woke up this morning and it's funny because I haven't done a live workout this morning on my membership, and then I had you booked in for the podcast. But I had, if I'm honest, a shit morning with the kids. I'd made a mistake in my business from doing something. It was only small, but a human error. It pissed me off. And then I was like, if I was to stay at home and didn't have this podcast to come and talk to you, I would have felt a lot worse. But because I had something scheduled in, got myself out, it just makes me feel so much better. So just having something in the diary sometimes as well can help, right?
Definitely. I think it's all about building habits, and that's obviously that's what started for me with the shred. Genuinely, is I knew I wasn't building things into my life that are important to me. Like I wanted to be fit again. I wanted to feel accountable, strong, eat healthily. It's not enough to say, oh, I'm going to eat healthy again. Like you've got to actually break it down. If you're busy mum, you've got to break your life down, because others you won't squeeze it in.
No.
Because the kids will occupy every space you leave them.
Oh my gosh.
And I adore my children.
Yeah.
But some people say, oh, you've got 3. I've only got 1. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. They're going to take up whatever space you give them.
Yeah.
So they'll just expand into the space, and your love will just expand into that same space. So whether you got 1, 2, 3, 10 in there, it's the same. The juggle's the same. So it just, the ages is different for me, because I have to dip into baby, toddler, out into teenage era, somewhere in the middle for Josh. And that's kind of my mind is like, what do they all need?
Yeah.
Am I giving them enough?
How can I keep them all
happy?
enough
for them? Yeah. But if I dive into those thoughts, that generally means I'm not in a good place.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking for a dark hole, I'm just,
absolutely.
I'm not doing enough. I'm not enough. Like,
and we are responsible for our own structure in our own life, without a doubt. And I know you said before you joined the LKB 8-week shred, you felt like you'd lost the structure of you for you personally as a mum. So you took it upon yourself to join. I think you'd been watching my stuff for a bit, hadn't you?
Yeah,
I
followed you for a long time. Yeah.
And then you was like, no, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And you had great results.
It was the best thing I've done, not just because I am the size I want to be. It's more about the accountability and making me realise, like, that it's a habit. If I don't work out in the morning, because I don't work out every day, but if I don't, I feel odd. I'm like, oh, I missed that. Like, I needed that hit, that
you in a good
dopamine hit.
headspace.
And it made me realise I can squeeze it in.
Yeah.
No matter how busy I get, that is half an hour I can squeeze in, and tracking my food is another half an hour a day, or however long it takes.
Yeah.
That I can do. My brain wasn't wired to do it, and now it is. And that confidence it's given me, that's what I take every day. That's something nobody can, touch. And I said this to Sienna the other day. She was really insecure about something, and so she'd had some criticism in something sport related, and they'd moved her position, and she was really upset. And I get that, and I talked to her about it, but she was like, ultimately I'm just not good enough. And I said to her, like, your self-worth and your inner confidence is the one thing you're in control of in your life.
Yeah.
So do not let them take that away from you.
Yeah.
So anything you can do that builds habits, fuels that confidence pot.
Yeah.
And that's what allows me to go to this morning when I'm absolutely so scared, is I dip into that confidence pot, and I might take a load out of it to do those big milestones. But if it's depleted, you can't do it. Like, I don't think I'd have the reserve. Do you know what I mean? I'd
No.
just end up thinking, I'm not going to do it.
Gotta have
I'm
that
just gonna say
self-belief.
no.
And I'd say anyone else that's in front of the cameras or anything with any shows you've been on or anything, they'd probably all say exactly the same about being nervous, showing up,
They do.
and like being that confidence person, that expert.
Yeah.
Like
I
everyone feels
ask
the
them
same.
every time.
Do you?
Every time I go, I ask everyone I can. Alison Hammond, I couldn't, she to me epitomizes fun, confident, oozes it. And I'm like, I want to be like that. I want to just have fun with my nerves.
Yeah.
She was so nervous backstage. And I said
Really?
to her, do you ever get nervous? She went, yeah. And she said, I have to, she said, I get shy. Not nervous, I get shy.
Wow.
I'm like, as if you get shy. And Dermot, I saw him saying to her, party Alison. Come on, just remember you're at a party. It's all good.
Yeah.
So that, I love that because that normalizes it for me. Whereas when I met another presenter, Rochelle, she was as seamless and calm as she is online. And I just thought, are you flawed in any way? Because you asked, to me, she's just perfection personified.
But I wonder if is that Rochelle Humes? I wonder if that's
Humes.
because she's been in front of the camera since such a young age.
Maybe.
Because she was in the Saturdays, wasn't she?
Yeah, maybe.
So I wonder if that plays a part, that she's just got it all under control.
Maybe.
I mean, not that reflects on all people that have been on camera since they were younger, because blimey, I don't think it does all of them any favours sometimes. But maybe I wonder if that is why, or she's just really got it all under control.
But then she does sometimes show up, I think, and say, like she's scared of flying, and she was flying out to I'm a Celebrity, and I remember she was saying, I'm so nervous, I've got to fly, but she just looks cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
So perception's everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
You never know what's going on with anybody.
No, absolutely not. And it's so important when you say about Sienna saying that she was knocked back a little bit, and it's so important to realise all those knockbacks, even as a child, I feel like we even have it as an adult. Like it's the same, right?
Is.
So, but obviously we have a little bit more knowledge and a bit more experience when we're older. For you to turn around to Sienna and say, don't let anybody. Because don't you practice, what do you practice each day? I feel like you talk about the universe and things like that, don't you?
Yeah.
Is that the law of attraction?
Yeah,
that you've got?
so I'm into... a dialogue with the universe, basically. I believe we can manifest things in our lives that we really want. I've had too many examples that are so specific that I'm like, I mean, honestly, Laura, how I got on this morning, I will never know.
Yeah.
I will never know. Like how I didn't manifest Downing Street, but I manifested opportunities like that. So you don't have to be that specific, but the specific ones are what give you the confidence, because they go, there's no way that should have happened. Yeah. This morning, I could feel it. I could feel it was coming. Yeah. Because it was on my mood board for years. And then I just started talking it into reality. And I felt a right wally doing it, because I thought everyone's going to think, you're never going to go on this morning. Why are you saying it? Yeah. But I used to put it in our team meetings and say, this morning is going to have me on the show. Yeah. And they're going to love it so much, they're going to ask me back again. And I'm going to help translate in a different voice the mortgage market, and the team would be like, yeah, we really believe it. And then it happened. They just rang me one day. So, and when they did, I was like, wow, oh my God, I did it.
You must have thought it was a fake call, right?
Yeah. It actually came into the team, so it was even better, because I looked at my phone. I'd been in meetings all morning and I had 54 messages in the team chat, and I was like, what the hell's happened? It's either something bad or something great. Really, and people, like the lady that had taken the call was like, Sarah, it's happened. They've called this morning, have just been on the phone. And then everyone was like, oh my God, I knew she'd do it.
That is amazing.
So
let's talk about
manifesting is...
I think people mistake manifesting, because, you talk about manifesting things, and which I think is great. But I think people can be a bit fooled with it, because manifestation is all about having a belief that's going to happen in the future, or something that you want in the future, but you've got to take action to get
self-development.
To it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, and that's clearly what you've done. So yes, you're on there, but you've worked and
that's put myself out there. Yeah. Yeah. It's, it comes down to your habit. So what you do in any given day, with time, is going to either really positively affect your life or negatively, and people have to take accountability for that. So if you post yourself on social media every day and there's 2 people that watch, you could easily think, there's no point in me doing this, because no one's watching anyway. But if you do that and you add years to that, you could end up on TV. That's if that's what you want.
Yeah.
You could end up being spotted by one person who's connected. That's all that happened with Downing Street. One follower. Really? She happens to work at Downing Street. The researchers happen to be looking for someone. She happened to mention my name. That's all happening from me turning up on stories and thinking, this is going nowhere. My following has not gone up.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 whatever the negative is. But I still show up.
Yeah.
Habits in health and fitness. You could miss the workout. It's not going to be that bad. Miss it. Okay, but then you miss it every day for weeks and months and years. Well, then you're never going to hit your goal.
No.
So any manifesting is developing fantastic habits and being really clear about why you're doing them and where you want to go.
Yeah.
And then leaving the rest to magic.
Yeah.
Because you can't be in control of everything. But what you can do is go, what can I do this week?
Yeah.
Towards those goals, even if it's tiny. What is the one thing I can do? Okay, well, I could show up every day. Like for me, I want to be booked as a speaker this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do I need to do this week? I've thought I need to put a press pack together this week. And I need to approach one agency this week. That's something I am in control of.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what I would just do is go, one day I want to be a speaker. I want to be paid to do things like that.
Yeah. ... But you're going to put it together.
Oh, but I've got 3 kids and I'm busy. I haven't had time. I'm tired. Oh, I just don't get opportunities like this. So, like, how do people do it? And then it turns into comparison, bitter thoughts. Like, we all have a choice. We can go either route. And I'm not going to pretend I don't sometimes go that route.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But that's what this, accountability, whatever that is, a friend, a book, a journal. You just got to have people in your life that help you look toward who you can be, not just accept who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so since you've had this from an outside point of view, I've seen you on The Voice, you become the mortgage mum. You're always at awards, winning awards. I'm like, where are all these awards nights coming from?
They do so many in the mortgage industry.
Oh my goodness, which is fab. And I've seen you in your beautiful dresses winning awards. And then like you're on the telly, blah, blah. Really successful journey. Oh my God, what was I going to ask based on that? Here we go. This is it. This is where the age comes in.
You're saying all lovely things, so I'm enjoying it. It's fun.
But then I was going to say something and I can't remember what. I can't remember what I was going to say.
I feel like you're going to ask me about reality or something behind it. I don't know.
Oh,
it was leading somewhere, though.
It was leading somewhere, and it will maybe come back to me in a bit. I'm sure you ladies can sympathise with me just forgetting something. So when you run up the stairs to get something, and you're like, "What was it?"
I did this on stage the other day, Laura. I was like, 4 of us on a panel, and I was like, I don't know what I'm saying. And I was like, but what I was about to say was really good, just so you know. But I don't know what it was.
That's what would happen to me on a panel.
It came back about 5 minutes later, and then I went, I thought of it. They went, do you want to say it? I was like, it's actually not that good. I will say it. But so I get it. It was horrible, just blank.
It's gone. Absolutely, just 100% gone. But
you'll get it back. You won't. It's fine.
It will. It will come back. But anyway. Oh, it's going to annoy me now. I feel like it's literally on the tip of my tongue. What's the future for this year with the mortgage mum and you personally?
This year, I'm going to declare it's going to be my most successful year yet. I don't feel like this right now. This is me declaring this, okay? This is what I want this year because it's my 8th year in numerology.
Okay.
Don't get me started on numerology.
Right, okay.
I love it. I've been working towards this year for the last 8 years.
Oh, wow.
It's the best year in the 9-year numerology cycle.
Oh, my God. I need to
Success,
learn
wealth,
more about this.
Property. There are better years to do things, easier years to do things, and you'll feel it energetically once you know what it means. So, this is my year for that. I want to be paid as a speaker this year. I want to build my personal profile. I want to do events that help women in business. Using everything I've learned over the last 8 years. I want to continue to grow the Mortgage Mum and our sister companies and more TV work.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you talk about doing events. I want to do a podcast launch, and I'm like, I want people to come and talk. So we should maybe
amazing. There you go.
I even feel like it doesn't have to be on mortgages, right?
No. It's about leadership or women or resilience. It sounds like
you've done loads of stuff to put yourself where you are today, which even I'm inspired by some of the things you're mentioning now. I'm going to like rack your brain as soon as we leave here. So yeah, that could be something you could come along to.
There you go.
So that could be the first one of 2025.
Yes,
Awesome.
how exciting. And financing schools by the end of the year, I'll have done something towards that.
That would be so, so good. I had a lady on here, my last podcast, called Suzanne. She's fab.
Yeah.
And she's like a coach stroke therapist for families, couples, that kind of stuff. But she's also everything that you're saying about money in school. She's saying about mental health in schools. And I was like, it's so true.
They're
We've got to,
interlinked.
absolutely. We've got to start this early. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm going to wrap things up there, Sarah. It's been so lovely to have you on. And it's so nice to see you because obviously we've been talking a lot over the phone. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what's going on in the future. Maybe we'll bring you back on when you've ticked off all of those things you've just listed.
That is manifesting. If we do that, that is what it is.
Where can people find you on your socials as well? Let us know.
Instagram's _mortgage_mum or Sarah Tucker with a load of underscores.
Yeah.
I'm on every platform, LinkedIn, TikTok, but mainly I show up on Instagram and TikTok at the moment.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So there
and our
you
website.
Go. So thanks for listening today, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all that jazz. And I will see you on the next episode.